you now.
Hi, how's it going, everyone? Today is August 28th, and this is our community meeting. We're joined by some special rock stars today, including Greg Diprisco from our head of business development team, as well as Jen, also on BD. And we will also be demoing Sky Interface, which was one of the main winners of the Wire MakerDAO hackathon. Oh, and Nadia is also on the call. Nadia is doing our BD in South America. And so we'll be hearing from Rashi and Teddy, the winners, some of the winners from the Maker Wire hackathon, who will give us some insight into their project that blew us away. So yeah, ETH Berlin is coming up soon. We're all prepared for that, which is very exciting. If you guys are prepared for that, please come say hi to us there. That's happening September 7th to the 9th. And that's about all I have to say in terms of immediate events.
All right, I can pick it up then. As far as technical milestones go in the community, we've had some major ones, not many, but we make up for what we lose in quantity, we make up in quality, I think. A major announcement went out for the multi-collateral DAI release, which is super encouraging. The announcement was that we're moving to Koban to release our initial set of contracts. There will also be an accompanying soon, either with or soon after, results of our formal verification of the contract code, which I think is fairly exciting. Slightly out of my wheelhouse. I think we had Nick in here. Did he disappear? Oh, there he is. Maybe later Nick can explain some of the nuances of what formal verification is all about. But if you're interested in tracking those timelines, please check out the Medium blog at MakerDAO. We have lots of information there for you. Another big event is we're going to kick off the stability fee vote tomorrow. And as we've discussed in previous calls and in Reddit and also in the blog, this vote will be open to technical users to join in as well. I've been collecting a list of people who are interested in using the command line to move their maker from place to place, which takes a certain amount of will, I think. But congratulations to the people who stepped up to do that. We'll have a tutorial available sometime later in the day, and I'll be pinging members that were interested in seeing that. If anybody else is interested in giving the mechanism a shot as well, join the dev channel in our Rocket chat, and we'll be able to help you out there. Another thing, actually, I wanted to talk about today that just came up in the last hour. I'm going to paste it into the chat that anybody on YouTube will not be able to see, but anybody who's here can. One of our community members, Medumas, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, has released a MakerDAO bot on Twitter. And what it does is it tracks interesting events in the MakerDAO ecosystem. So it will show large creations of DAI. It will show risky CDPs. It will show CDPs that have gotten bit. It will show changes to risk parameters. And every 24 hours, it provides a summary of interesting things that happen in the DAI ecosystem. So check it out. We'll be making a post actually in the subreddit to advertise some of the features and where everybody can find it. But if you're watching the video, it's at Twitter, it's at MakerDAObot. So check it out. It's really cool. I think that's it for me, Jess, if you wanted to introduce the guests.
Definitely. So I'd like to introduce Rashi. Rashi, if you want to say hi to everyone. So Rashi, hello. I met at the very beginning of the Wire MakerDAO Unblock hackathon in San Francisco just a couple weekends ago. And he actually came up to our booth bright and early before I'd had any coffee and asked what MakerDAO was, but then managed after that to create a stunning project that scored second place in the overall hackathon, with us and Mike from Wire being judges of that. But Rashi, I'd love for you to tell a little bit about what you made and why you made it, and then give us a bit of a demo.
Sure. So we made a conversion from DAI coin to USD. using Wire's interface, and we thought that this was uniquely suited for Dai because one of the features that Wire gives you is a wallet that when you send coin, you can send it to a wallet that then gets forwarded to a friend, and if that friend doesn't know what the value of the coin is, they probably are less likely to accept that. Same with merchants. So we felt like with the stability of Dai and with the ease of use of Wire, we could make a really good a really good use case for both projects. So I have a demo set up. Let's see if I can show you. There it is. Okay. All right. So, can you see the window at all? I'm not sure if it's showing up.
Yeah, we can see it. There's a huge black bar at the bottom. I'm not sure why.
Okay.
Oh,
How
there
about
you
now?
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
So, so the way this works is you enter in the amount of Dai you want to send so that you know how much is going to end up in the wallet, and then it randomly generates a wallet address. And this, and then it generates a wallet and a wallet address, and so then you can go to whatever you use to send. And I'm doing this off that web page. You can go to wherever you use to whatever wallet you have personally, and it doesn't have to be affiliated with SendWire, to fill that wallet with exactly as much as you need. And so so I just filled it with that much Dai, and then you can send it directly to a wallet. And then because of stability of Dai, it sends the money, and I actually get a text message that you probably can't see that the money was sent. And it is withdrawing from that money, so it does have insufficient funds if you try to overdraft. But we thought we could make it easier, especially for merchants. If we want to say pay back a friend or pay a merchant, we can type in a routing number and an account number for a bank account, and we can do the same thing where we load up the wallet. With Dai, and you send the money. Well, it's probably trade a little bit. Did that go through? Okay. And that will send it directly to their bank account.
This is kind of mind blowing. I'm so used to not being able to get in and out of crypto. So is this all running on a test net right now, or is this live?
So this is all running on a test net, but just by changing it to the Wires API. So there's like a test URL endpoint, and then there's a regular URL endpoint. And some of the benefits are like you don't have to actually have an account with Wire. The whole idea is like we would store the wire processing on our part, and deposit directly into people's bank accounts, so they don't really have to understand the nuances of cryptocurrency.
All right, I think, well, it's two people have chatted that they're not quite understanding how it works. So can you maybe break down the workflow a bit?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So Wire does charge some fees for moving the money. I'll show that again and I'll break it down.
I'm not too sure I understand how the generating of a wallet works. Is this just
Sure.
sort of something that happens sort of in the back office? It's just an intermediary location where things are stored, or are you passing
it's a temporary wallet. So the whole idea is when you load the web page, it actually sends a request, and I'll just show you the code. That might be useful.
Sure.
Is everyone here technical?
Some of us.
Okay. So let's see. Well, I'll try describing it both ways. I'll do it non-technically first. So the first thing that happens is it actually goes, a request goes to Wire, and it says, "Hey, can you make me just a random wallet on Sky's account?" And so it generates a wallet, it returns an address, and that gets presented on the screen here. So you can then make a transaction where you add DAI or ETH or even BTC, and it does a different wallet for that to that wallet. And so that wallet then has the funds on Wire's account. And so when you go to send the money, Wire has the functionality to send the money, take their transaction fee, and put it into the account. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. So you're acting as. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Greg. Is that you?
Whose account at Wire is this going to?
Did you ask, do you need an account with Wire?
No, I'm saying whose account with Wire is this going to?
Who has the account with Wire? We have Sky has the account with Wire.
Okay, so you're taking in DAI and you're giving people US dollars to their banks from your Wire account.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
And you can also send it to a wallet on Wire's account if you don't want that transaction fee, I guess, or if you just want to keep it as DAI or ETH or whatever it is.
So you guys are sort of custodying the ETH or the crypto and the cash in this model. Is there a way to do it that doesn't involve you guys taking custody of any kind of finance, any kind of money?
I suppose if you wanted to host, if you wanted to use Wire's API directly, I don't really think there's a way to not give us custody. Either we have to have it or the merchant has to have it, the other person. But if the other person doesn't have, if the whole idea is to eliminate sort of the overhead of setting up a Wire account, then someone has to have custody of it.
Yeah, definitely. So in this model, would your plan be that Sky would be sort of the continuous intermediary for all the vendors, or would specific vendors set up their own Wire accounts and then use your interface to interact with theirs?
I think it would probably start with having the money deposited into their accounts, because the whole idea is to minimize friction. And after people trust that these transactions can work regularly and reliably, then they could transfer over.
Interesting. All right, Jordan had a question. Actually, let's go in order here. Mike Newman was asking about fees. So what's the bite on these things?
All right, so Wire, let's see. Wire has transaction fees.
Are you guys monetizing this at all, or is there plans to monetize it?
We're not monetizing this currently, but we'd probably end up adding, you know, a slight fee on top of Wire's fee, or we could just, you know, charge for support. I haven't really thought about it. This was a hackathon idea. But if we go to Wire's fees, I can paste a link in chat. Oh yeah, and who's right now the KYC stuff is not. I did think about that. I guess we would be taking on that KYC risk. But if we know I still figure even if we have all the KYC information, you know, associated with the routing number or the you know, with the banking information, then that would work. And then if we send it directly to a new Wire account, then, you know, Wire would have to, you know, handle the KYC stuff. I put a link to the Wire fees, and so, you know, probably something like that. And that would be, I don't quite understand. I certainly when you cash out, you have to pay the transfer fee. I'm not sure if there's anything beyond like the normal transaction fees for adding stuff to the wallet. I don't imagine there would be.
Greg, did that clear up questions that you had about the flow?
Oh, yeah, I get it now.
Okay, cool. I'm super impressed, actually. I think that, like I said earlier, it's weird to kind of wrap your head around having an ability to get in and out of crypto, because I kind of forgot that was the end run. That was the end goal. So what are your guys' plans for the future? Are you going to continue to work on it, or do you have?
We could work on it. I haven't really decided. It sort of depends on if people think it's a worthy project to work on, and you know, if there's support for that. I'd have to, you know, work with Teddy, who is my partner on the project, who looks like he wasn't able to make it for whatever reason. And is this legal? Like, I don't know. This was, you know, a prototype hacked together. It was coded in 4 hours. You know, it was created in 24 hours. So there are probably some legal hurdles we have to figure out. Certainly around KYC stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's awesome because also, Rashi, I remember you telling me that you're actually very new to crypto.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah. So I think it's amazing that you know, sort of came up with this project that's really quite useful with a sort of fresh perspective.
That's what was so that's why Teddy was so necessary for the project, was because, you know, he's very into crypto. So you know, we spent like the first day or so, we didn't code anything. We were just talking through different use cases that we thought of, looking through the tools, see what's actually out there, so that when we did go to coding, we knew right what needed to be coded versus sort of brainstorming in code.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody in the chat have any questions? Nick, I know you're our resident developer. Did you have any gotchas?
Not at the moment. I'd have to look into a little bit more, but it seems really cool, and I hope we get like more people kind of hacking on this stuff, right? Like it's these are not kind of one-off things, and right, we're trying to build up like a real ecosystem here, so it's not just us trying to build everything out. Like, we want other people to kind of take up the helm and start building out all these second layer services, right? And really kind of get this ball rolling here, right? Like, there's like a really big pie, and everyone can get a big piece of the pie, right?
Definitely. We have not talked with Wire about the legality of it. That was in response to, I think, Jordan.
Yeah, it's an interesting, and it's kind of an open question. I think that there's still ambiguity over a lot of things that are happening in this space. But the demo is great, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it could develop into. All right, Jess, do you want to move on to Greg and Ash, or just Greg today?
Definitely. Yeah, thank you so much, Rashi. Greg, do you want to start kicking off everything about yourself and all that's going on in your world, and leave the door open for questions?
Yes, but you have to mute your microphone because Jess is right behind me, so you're going to get a lot of feedback. Yeah, so hey guys, I'm Greg. I'm Maker's head of BD, and I asked for this spot on this call today mainly so me and my team can reach out to you guys and let you know that you guys are very much a part of our business development process, and it's actually really great that we saw a presentation like Rashi's today, because if you're somebody like Rashi building something in our ecosystem, we want you to know that you're not alone and that we have a ton of resources at our disposal to help you. So with that, I actually want to introduce some other people on the team. Most of you know Ashley already, and she is not able to be on right now because she's on another call. But I do want Nadia and Jen to introduce themselves. So Jen, why don't we start with you, and then we'll go on to Nadia.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jen. I work in the New York office with Greg here on the biz dev team. And yeah, as Greg kind of mentioned, our goal is really to kind of help be a resource to projects in the making, people that are thinking about projects, and just really help you better understand what we do at MakerDAO and, explore ideas with regard to what you're working on, and then help you navigate within our team, whether it's through our technical integrations team or our marketing team. So you could really kind of think of us as a front end, to MakerDAO as a whole. And, any ideas you have, we're always curious and love to hear what people are working on. So give us a shout, and we'd love to connect.
And Nadia, if you want to give a brief introduction.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Nadia. I'm in the Buenos Aires office, and I'm here to help you, all the Latin American projects who want to work with us, to give you resources and help developing your projects. We are very happy to be here in Latin America because we know that something that we are doing with MakerDAO could be very helpful for all of us. So very exciting to connect with you.
Awesome. Yeah, so at that point, first of all, just Rashi, if you want to reach out, I think we have
absolutely.
Three in-house counsels that would be more than happy. They can't provide legal advice per se, but they'd be more than happy to, look over what you're doing, I guess. And we'd be happy to help you scope out the business if you want. Does anybody else have any questions for the team? Open Q&A. We can't talk about any specific partners, but we can tell you what's been going on behind the scenes a little bit.
I have a question. So what have you guys been doing towards the retail DAI use cases, besides, I guess, Wire? Yeah, so it's important to note that those weren't even possible before Wire, because every retailer we'd go to would be like, I can't use fancy internet money. I need real money to pay my bills. So for now, we're stuck to using Fiat, but we do have 3 pretty big name partners coming up with that are going to be accepting DAI on their sites. They're online merchants or not-for-profits, and I obviously can't give their names out, but it's going to be a really cool new use case of DAI that you haven't seen yet. I'm excited. That's cool. Yeah, and Jordan, if you Jordan, if you have any sort of ideas, just come bounce them off of us, and we will help you formulate them into something more concrete.
Greg, can you read out the questions, because the chat log doesn't make it into YouTube?
So Jordan asked, I don't necessarily have these contacts right now, but does the BD team have the resources / desire to help with the technical side of helping smaller / local DAI use cases? Thinking like implementing DAI as a local currency, or simply just people accepting DAI in general, kind of in line with what David just asked. And the answer is absolutely.
specifically in Latin America, this is one of our #1 goals. You know, it's one of the few places in the world where using DAI as a savings mechanism makes sense today, because people already save in US dollars and they don't trust the banks. And if Nadia wants to talk more about that, she's got a lot of firsthand experience. But yeah, so we're open to any and all integrations. Our one mission statement is just getting DAI out there into the world and making it more popular.
I actually have a question for Nadia. We've chatted about this in calls previously, but I'm curious about what the general impression is in Latin American countries when it comes to stablecoins. Is it difficult to explain to people what a stablecoin is, or do they understand but are more interested in speculative coins?
No, it's not difficult to explain to people what a stable coin is, because our situation about hyperinflation, we are used to get our saves in another currency. So for us, it's the same to have US dollars or another currency. And if it's a crypto, it's usually it's better, because we had a lot of limitations about the fees and the way how we can transfer money between us. So it's very interesting region about how they want to start to use a crypto as a stable coin. It's very interesting panorama that we have here. The only thing that they all are asking me is how we can buy DAI. I mean, if I have Argentinian pesos or any other Latin America currency, how we can get DAI, because they want already to start using it. So that's why we start to thinking about how we can develop this market. And the first phase of our big project here is doing partnership with different exchanges, like the main exchanges here in Latin America. So anyone who wants to start to maintain their saves or send money to their family in another countries here in Latin America could use DAI. But that's why our first phase of the plan is start with exchanges and get as much as exchanges as we can, so we can give DAI to anyone who wants to maintain their money in a crypto way.
That's cool to hear. So it's not hard to get people interested in stability as opposed to risk, so that there isn't greater interest in speculating on BTC than there is in finding stability. Exactly.
It's interesting because what I can see in other countries, in other regions, is that maybe the crypto is a way to do more money. Here is for just stability and maintain your saves. So it's like a different perspective. So we need it. It's not like a luxury or like I want to play or gamble with my money. It's like a necessity, a first necessity. That's why it's more easy to adopt a stable coin here.
Oh, that's great to hear. Cool. Thanks for that.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Well, we always have the old standbys. So maybe I'm going to put you on the spot then. So I know that you can't talk about things that are in the pipeline, but is there anything cool coming up that you can sort of let us in on?
This is where marketing usually just will chop my head off if I start throwing out names.
Yeah, Megan's not going to like it either. So
yeah, we do have a couple of pretty good exchange integrations coming up for mainstream users of crypto. One of them, you'll be able to convert DAI from convert pretty much any crypto into DAI, which we think will be a nice solution for merchants that want to ultimately use the wire integration. So they could just accept all crypto, hold it in DAI, and then once they, there's no urgency to then cash out. They can go to wire and cash out whenever they want.
Cool. There's actually I'm gonna.
Jordan asks, I tried to ask Mike on the chat, but do you have any idea when Wire will be able to use ACH instead of wires? Yeah, I do. Tentatively speaking, I think we are, I know it gets confusing here. tentatively, I think we're hoping that it happens sometime in the fall. But I can say this: Wire is doing some really cool stuff behind the scenes, and like we hitched our cart to the right horse with them.
One of the things I've been really interested in for a while now is kind of leveraging the pool of talent that we have in our community. We have a lot of really smart, really engaged people that are kind of domain experts in their own individual fields. If someone in the community was interested in letting you know about opportunities, or if there are specific verticals that you guys were interested in, how would they go about doing that? And which ones are you guys most interested in hearing about?
Well, we're interested in hearing about all of them, but we are in Rocket Chat all day. I mean, I think everyone on the Maker team has a Rocket Chat window open at all times, and our emails are pretty much all our first names at MakerDAO.com. So if you have anything, even if you just want to chat and get to know us, send an email, ping us in Rocket Chat. We're happy to talk. But yeah, we really, the reason I want to do this meeting especially is because we really do want your leads. We know that you guys have incredible connections, that you're very smart people. And if you have any leads, or you can think of anybody that would use DAI, we're happy to help you.
Cool. And we were talking about this, but is business development going to be sort of a regular guest on the community meetings, or are you guys going to pop in every once in a while, or are you happy to sort of co-host with us?
Yeah, I'm usually lurking in the background.
Yeah. Free content. I love it. All right. Any other questions that people have for business development, partnerships, ideas, leads? I think that might be it then.
Cool.
Jess, do we have anything else on the calendar we need to go through, or are we done?
No, I think we're good in terms of what's going on the calendar.
Right on. I think we can possibly wrap it up then. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Business Development, for dropping by.
Oh, does Pierre have a question?
Oh, there we go.
Also, David, let's talk more about the Open Bazaar thing. When to pay
I'm down. I'm very down for that.
Cool. So Pierre asked, do you know when the Paybear, I think you meant Paybear, right? Yeah, Paybear integration will be available. They are actually one of our oldest partners. We've been working with them for about 6 months, I'd say. I happen to know that ERC20 integration is a very, very extraordinarily difficult thing for merchant payments. So I believe they are just getting around to that, and I think we'll be live pretty soon. I can't give an exact date because that's something that the team usually works out with marketing, but I can say that that's in the works, and I can't imagine it's going to take much longer. Why? So, Pierre, do you use Paybear, or do you want to use Paybear?
Maybe while we're waiting for an answer to that, can you give us a brief recap of what Paybear is all about?
Yeah. So Paybear lets merchants take crypto, basically. Nice, simple. If you want to, they have it on their website, nice little flow. If you create a payment address, you ask for the payment, you wait for the payment, you get a notification, and you get paid. So it's very simple. It's trying to bring merchant payments in crypto to the masses by making it really, really easy. The problem, as we all know, being involved in the crypto community for a while, the moment you make something really easy, it gets really hard on the back end. So I know that those guys have been working very hard to make that product as user-friendly as possible.
And it's focused on merchants or person to person?
Merchants. So to be merchants that want to accept crypto.
I have a quick question. So my father actually approached me today, and he was interested in coding up a plugin on Joomla to accept DAI, and I don't know the technical capabilities of Joomla plugins. So if you know anybody who has experience in Joomla that can answer some questions for me, I would really appreciate you putting them in touch with me.
So Joomla is a content management system.
Yeah. It's a website building thing, and a lot of people code up these extensions for payment acceptance. And it would be really cool to get a die payment acceptor type of plugin on there.
Does he know anybody there at Joomla?
He doesn't. He's been using it for years, and Joomla's been around long enough that there's just a lot of interoperability with like just a bunch of stuff. So he was curious about it.
Okay, I'm gonna look into it, and if it's something that they need, if it's something where like we can just insert HTML, we have about 3 partners that could just do that pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that needs to be integrated on that end, I will reach out and we'll try and get it.
Cool, thanks, Greg. I appreciate it.
No problem. And Pyrrhic said, I don't use Paybear yet, but would like to see more merchants integrated so we can use our die coins. Yes, I think now that the wire integration is up, the die to merchant use case is open to the world. So yeah, if you guys know any, and this is a big thing for the community, like the BD team only has so much bandwidth to go out and contact small merchants, but small merchants is where it always begins. So if you guys know any small merchants that you think want to take die, then put them in touch with us and we'll hold their hand through the whole process.
All right. I tried to put an end to things, but more questions came. I don't want to get picked out again. I think that might be it. Pretend that it is. All right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Business Development. Thanks, Jess. And thanks for the awesome demo, Rashi, for the die to Fiat gateway. I'm really excited to see where that thing develops. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
See you next week.
Thanks so much, you guys.